out of bed before dawn, every day of the year, weekday or weekend, workday or holiday, no matter what kind of day it is, every day of the year, day in, day out, for the rest of one's life, to make the Fajr prayer on time, before the crack of dawn, already demands considerable commitment to Islam and considerable determination. All of Islam's rituals test and challenge and help to build a Muslim's willpower and self-control in various ways. And in so doing, these rituals help to build those qualities in us: determination, self-control, stick-to-itiveness, persistence, willpower, strength. The Shahada tests a person's allegiances. Is your main allegiance to Allah, or is it to something else? Is your main allegiance to this community, or is it to some other community? Is your allegiance to the Muslims, or to another nation? Is your allegiance to God, or is your allegiance to your boss at work? Which comes first? The Shahada is a continuous and persistent test of that allegiance. The fast of Ramadan tests our control over our physical needs. The Zakat tests our ability to discipline our material desires and to extend the bounty that God has given us and to share it with our fellow man. The pilgrimage to Mecca, in some ways, tests all of the three things I just mentioned. But the Salat may not be as emotionally demanding as a convert's first Shahada. And it might not be as physically and material demanding as the other three pillars of Islam. But the ritual prayer, more than any other ritual in Islam, tests constancy and perseverance, tests our ability to stick to it. I have known many Muslims who fast every Ramadan and don't miss a day and do it right. I have known many Muslims who not only do that, but pay zakat every year and pay what they owe and even more. I have known Muslims who do not only those two, but who have made the Hajj and have followed the Sunnah and followed it to the T when it comes to making the Hajj. And I've known those same Muslims, and among them I've known a considerable number of them who can't make the 5 prayers every day, day in and day out. Most of us are capable of great moments of virtue or religiosity on occasion. We can rise to the occasion on rare occasions. Almost all of us have it within us. But very few of us, only a minority of mankind, could be consistently religious, could be consistently virtuous. In terms of our moral and spiritual growth, we are too often like persons who decide that they're going to go and get physically fit by going out and run a 20-kilometer marathon. We say, oh my goodness, I'm getting out of shape. The stomach, or as the Arabs say, the kirsche. Is it kirsche? Getting a little flabby. I got to get in shape. So the guy goes and puts on his jogging suit, sweatshirt, jeans, goes out and buys new sneakers, new socks, sunglasses, headband, gets all ready, watch, glass of water, goes out and tries to run 20 kilometers, comes back exhausted, dead, falls into bed, blisters all over his feet, can't get up the next day, lies in bed and for 10 more days, puts on 16 pounds because he hasn't moved. It does sound ridiculous, but many of us approach faith in the same way. Everyone knows that in order to get physically fit, you have to follow a regular and steady program of exercise. But somehow we feel that to become religious, we're just going to get out the beads, and we're going to recite Qur'an all day, and we're going to make supplications and do extra prayers, and fast all day, and we get really religious for 2 or 3 days, and then we get so burnt out that we just give it up and take it easy for a while and think, well, I'll get religious later. That type of attitude, whether in the physical sphere or the spiritual sphere, is damaging because it teaches us failure. It teaches us that we can't. It helps to encourage us to be lazy. Failure, continual failure, produces a failure. Continued success produces a success. So in the physical sphere, we understand that we need a regular program to follow. When you go to your high school football coach, I played high school football. No pain, no gain, boys. Get out there every day. Got to run this. You got to do these exercises every day. No pain, no gain. Got to stick to this program. Don't stick to this program. You're not going to make it. And we understand him. It's as plain as rain. We know he's right. We walk into the classroom, our teachers, got to do your homework every day. Got to work hard every day. Brain will atrophy. Work hard. Keep studying. You're going to be a failure. You want to be a success. Got to work hard. We know he's right. But somehow we think that there's a whole different law that comes with our spiritual development. We think it's like magic. But Islam teaches us that we have to follow this regular program, which begins with the 5 pillars of Islam. And we can't forget that most important pillar, the Islamic prayer. The Qur'an repeatedly exhorts the believer to develop sabr, the Arabic word that connotes patience, perseverance, fortitude, stick-to-itiveness, a quality that is essential to spiritual development. It's essential to any kind of development. Very often these exhortations that talk about sabr occur with exhortations to do what? Establish the regular prayer. Those are the believers who establish prayer and are patient in adversity. How many times do we see that connection made throughout the Qur'an? Because the two obviously complement each other. Yet the rewards of salat far outweigh the demands. Just want to check if I'm running over time. No. Yet the rewards of salat far outweigh the demands. A Muslim student once informed me, as I mentioned in the beginning of this lecture, that the power of salat is indescribable. If you'll let me quote him again, he said that when we pray and put our nose to the ground, we feel a joy, a rest, a strength that is outside this world and no words could ever describe. You have to experience it to know. But you, my brothers and sisters, are not ignorant of that experience, or at least you shouldn't be. You should know. The day he told me this was the day I became a Muslim. It was not long before I begin to understand what he meant. For there are moments during salat, moments of truth, of true honesty, sincerity, and humility, when a Muslim perceives the infinite presence of God's most merciful and compassionate light. These are not moments that can be anticipated. For you, as you all know, they almost always come unexpectedly. But when those moments come, and they do, a Muslim feels the caress of the most tender and most overpowering kindness. This is an utterly humbling experience, because a Muslim knows that it is too infinitely beautiful to be deserved. It is a tremendously intoxicating experience, because with your hands, feet, and face firmly to the ground, you feel like you're suddenly lifted into heaven, into paradise, and you could breathe its air and smell its fragrances and soil and feel its gentle breezes. It feels as if you're about to be raised off the ground and to be placed in the arms of the most benevolent and affectionate love. These moments of divine intimacy create in the worshiper an overpowering longing to be nearer to God. And the hereafter, and growing nearer and nearer to God, becomes the focus of that person's living and striving and dying. This helps us understand why devout Muslims are so zealous about their